Hi guys, so the next topic that we're going to be doing is going to be cones for geometry. Now, for cones, we want to know two things. One, obviously the volume, okay? We're going to first find out the volume. So let's say volume is what it is. Half, sorry not half, 1 by 3 into base area multiplied by the height. Okay, second, well, how do we calculate this? Basically, we know that the base area is going to be the volume of the base, sorry, the area of the base. This is our base in this case, the circle, and this is our top. And from here to here, this is our height. Okay, let's mark that as well. Now, for the base area, we have this circle. Now, for the area of a circle, we know the area of a circle is pi r square. Now, what do we need to know? We know pi, but we need to know r in this case. R is going to be exactly from the middle to over here. That's going to be our r. Let's mark that. Okay. Now, second step, we put that back into the equation. So it becomes half, the volume meaning, half into base area, that is pi r square, multiplied by our height, that is h. That's the first thing. Second thing we want to know is the Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem, okay? Now, how do we do the Pythagoras theorem over here? We need to know, let me go on the side. H square equals p square plus b square. H being our hypotenuse, this being our perpendicular, and this being our base. Okay, then next thing is, how do we identify which sort of hypotenuse, perpendicular, and base? We can see we have r here. Can I see I can make a right angle triangle? I think so. Let's make one here. From here all the way to the bottom part here. And this, now see, we have a right angle triangle in front of us over here. This is our right angle. This r is equal to our, we could say in this case if we take this angle, now it depends on what the base and perpendicular is, but let's say in this case we take this as our perpendicular. This is our p, this is our b, okay, and then this is our, or let's say we switch it up so we don't get confused here. Now let's go here. Now let's say this was r, and let's say r is our base. Just to be clear, we know that the bottom part is our base, so this can also be our base. Okay, the top part over here, this straight up part, is going to be our perpendicular, and then this side is going to be our hypotenuse. Now if someone says, let's say find the, you could say, and yeah, one more thing. Do you notice something here? That the perpendicular is equal to the height. So if someone tells us the height and tells us the slant height, okay, the hypotenuse could be the slant height. Let's also mark that. If someone tells us the actual height and the slant height and they say find the volume, how would we do that? We would say that because we use the Pythagoras theorem, okay, so h square equals p square plus b square. Now the third thing you want to know about this is the total base area. Total base area, I'm going to explain what that, sorry, total surface area, not base area. I'm going to explain what that means. Total surface area is, what's the surface that we have? The surface that's touching the ground, you could say, that's the circle, okay? That's going to be our base. We could say the circle. Well, let me write the base so we can understand this in other shapes as well. Base equals circle equals to pi r square. So simple as that. And 1 second, we have to also know something. How do I calculate this entire, like the curved surface of the cone? For example, if you were a cone on your head, you're going to have a curved area on the cone as well. How do you calculate that? For that, let me write that down. Curved area of cone, actually curved surface area of cone. 1 second. Is equal to It's not going to be pi r squared. It's going to be pi r L. Let's write that down. Now what is L? L is basically, let me write it down. L is your slant height. That would be your h in this case. So that h is your slant height as well. Let me also write that down. H is your L. Now let's see an example to understand this a bit better. They say find the volume of the cone, and they've given us this cone, they've given us this height on the side and the slant height. First, we're going to write down the formula for our volume. That's going to be 1 by 3 into base area multiplied by our height. Then we want to know what's the base area. First, we're going to find out what's the base. The base is our circle over here on the bottom. The base area is going to be the area of the circle, so pi r squared. Now, I don't know where r is. I know r is here, but I don't know what's the value of r. For that, I'm going to use my Pythagoras theorem, and for that, I'm going to first have to make a triangle. I know that the radius is going to be from here to here. Okay, let's mark that with a different one so we can understand this. Let's say from here to here. The radius is something that you want to find now. Okay, so we want to know the other two things. Do we have the other two things? Yes. We have the height on the side that they gave us 6, and the slant height is going to be the same on both sides. Okay, that's going to be 10, and this is our radius. We use our Pythagoras theorem. 8 square equals p square plus b square. 8 square is our 10. 10 square equals p square is, you could say, our 6. 6 square, and the base is our r plus r square. This is going to give you 100 equals 36 plus r square. Then you take 36 on the other side. That's going to give you 100 minus 36 equals r square. 64 equals r square. Take under root on both sides. That's going to give you r equals 8. Okay, we have r as 8. Now we go back to our original thing. We wanted to find the base area. That's going to be pi into 8 squared. That's going to give you 64 pi. Okay, next step, go back to the volume. That's the original thing that you want to find. Half into base area, that is 64 pi. And then times the height, that is 6. The height is the same as the one that we used before. That's going to be times 6. Then we simply multiply this by this. Okay, we're not going to open this up. We're not going to open pi right just now. 6 times 64, let's say that is, let me quickly do it on my calculator. 6 times 64, that's going to be 384. Pi, okay, remember 384 pi divided by 3. Okay, simplify this on your calculator. That's going to give you 384 divided by 3. That is 128. Now, I'm also going to leave the link to the notes in the description. So you don't need to write this down, okay? We just pay attention here to understand the concept. And yeah, sorry, this is 128 pi, not just 128. We have to put the pi, and obviously in the end we can open it. Sometimes the question says, give your answer in terms of pi. So we just leave it like this. But if it does not specify, we can open this up and give them the further answer. Okay, so let's say if they did not say it, what we would do, simply 128 multiplied by 22 over 7, and the end answer would be, let's do that, 128 times 22, and then divide by 7, 402.28. 402.28. So it depends on what the question really wants from us, and yeah. Now we're going to see the next case, that what if our cone is opened? What does that mean? Well, how is it open? For example, imagine yourself with a cone, okay, that the back side, okay, let's say you're wearing a cone on your head, half of it on the top is missing. You only have half of it. So let's say this is the back side, the red one that I marked. This is the back side. The front side is missing, okay? That means half of it is open. Let me make another drawing to make you understand this a bit better. Now next, what you want to do is imagine this as your top bit, okay? This pointy bit thing that I've drawn. This is your top, and that's your top, okay? So this is this over here. Now imagine that you're wearing this cap or this cone, and half of it you have on your head, or let's say more than half, and this half is missing. Now what does this become? This is not a cone anymore. This becomes a sector or a pizza. Let me write that down. So now this has become a sector or a pizza slice. Okay, so either you could say Pac-Man or pizza slice. If it either becomes a Pac-Man or pizza slice are the two possibilities. Yes. Now that the shape has changed, what do? For now, I want to know if I have a sector or a pizza slice. Okay, pizza slice or Pac-Man. What is my radius? What is my arc length? How do I find the area? We're going to discuss that. First, you want to know what is your radius. So, the slant height, okay, meaning that's a slant height. Let's mark that as well. Slant height of cone is now radius of sector. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, what do you want to know? Second thing is, what is, you could say, the arc length? Okay, now the circumference. Okay, the circumference. What's the circumference? We discussed it before. Circumference, or you could say the perimeter of the circle, is now arc length. Let me clear that as well. Okay, is now arc length of sector. Lastly, what is our area? Now we're going to do curved surface area. The curved surface area is going to be the area of the sector. Okay, last thing, curved surface area. Let me mark that. Is now the area of sector. And that's it. Now, if you have any question related to this topic, you can leave a comment so I can know what's the question, and I can also address that in a future video. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm going to leave the link to the notes in the description. You can access them there. And if anyone wants to book a free call with me to discuss your issues in maths, I'm also going to leave my number in the description, so you can contact me there as well. And yeah, make sure to subscribe and to stay updated for content like this. Thank you.